Today's video is about an old website called grc.com, Gibson Research Corporation, from Steve Gibson. This is about the ShieldsUP Port Authority edition that's still up there and has been up for a while, and its history. And we'll just go through it really quickly. Behind the scenes, the computer at the other end is using a simple copy of Windows and is using Windows-based software to give an average type attack, but not really an attack, or scan of your computer that you volunteer for. And it's useful. I want to point out that one of the links has been there for 14 years, from 2012 to 2026, or the current year. That's grc.com/x/nedll. That's the Windows file. X is basically the computer subdirectory. And here is the sequence of numbers that's used for its link. Let's look at this. When you get there, it says, "Welcome to ShieldsUP. If you've not visited in some time, yada, yada." And then it says, "Proceed to go to the real page," at which point it'll put up a different URL than what I showed you. And you're given the following options. Now, it's not done in the way you might be used to now. We have, at the bottom, right under the word home, we have file sharing test, which will be later, common ports, and then all service ports. We're going to do all service ports, but you can do both. This one's faster for common ports. And browser headers is really quick. This gives you the information your web browser gives out in order for a website to properly format stuff for you. And again, this goes back to the bad old days of this website best viewed with some web browser. None of this shit should be really done anymore, but that's what websites do. And as we all know, we're in the middle of the third or fourth browser war. But we're going to show all service ports as well as the file sharing page. Now, I want to point out that if you go here too many times in a day, you'll get blacklisted for seeing this page. You just do. It doesn't explain it. It just doesn't show the page. It just don't. Because, again, it's running through a DLL. It just sends you a blank page. And that's it. Now, this is the page for doing, again, what I'm calling file sharing. That's the button I clicked. And it gives me this. This is my outcome. Checking your computer gives you a countdown, but it's really fast. And it shows attempting connection to your computer. And it said, in my case, I passed. The internet port 139 does not appear to exist, so that's full stealth or there's something wrong. Unable to connect to NetBIOS on your computer, again, that's good. So these are normally considered good, but instead of having a user interface that tells us this is you've passed, it gives you these detailed pieces of information and invites you to keep reading, which is a good thing, especially in the old days. But these days, it'd be nice if it was just part of an all-in-one check. Maybe that'll be done someday. Then we get to this one. This is the one where it tests 156 ports on your computer and other things. It's 32 ports right to left, and then stacks of them. And I show as being stealth for all of them on my computer, because that's just generally how I set up my computer, and that's how I force my web browser to behave. Along with that, there are other websites that can test other things, like seeing if you leave a footprint behind or fingerprint. And it said, TruStealth analysis failed. And it said I passed on a bunch of things, but I had a ping reply pass. Now, I've left that open, I left that enabled, because on a Windows machine, Microsoft Corporation desperately wants to make sure your computer is not truly secure. Now, this is a Windows 7 computer. This is a computer physically that was built in 2009. And I can still pass all of these just about. The only reason ping is still on there is honestly because it's a screaming pain in the ass to turn it off, because every single thing you do, if you let your computer update, it will tacitly go through and turn that back on so it can have just one little thing. And there's more than 1,056 ports. The page then goes on to explain a few things, and it's a good read. But again, if you visit it too much, or if you refresh the page too much, it'll lock you out. And again, this is the quote-unquote file sharing check. And it showed I'm okay, right? But it uses the word failed when it's a success. One or more parts are operating in stealth mode. Now, I want to point out that Steve Gibson, Gibson Research Corporation's page, is good. It's cool, okay? But it's a guy trying to make a living, and this is stuff that hasn't changed. How long ago was it again? 2012? It's actually older than that. Now, this was brought up during the height of Windows 95, 98 Millennium deliberate security holes. And we owe Steve Gibson a thank you. Now, my report, I'll just read back quickly. Scanning ports 0 through 1055, which is 1056 ports. We include port 0. All ports tested were found to be in stealth. That means that no unsolicited packets were received. 0 ports are open, but 0 ports are closed. They just ignore crap being sent to them. They're open, you can scan them, but you get nothing. A ping reply, or ICMP echo, was received, so TruStealth failed on one point. And again, as I explained, Microsoft Corporation makes it to where shutting that down deliberately has a bunch of booby traps to it to where it makes your computer behave strangely enough that it causes problems. Also, pointed out, if you weren't able to notice it in here, this is an extremely unusual outcome, except on Windows 7 computers, because most of us locked our computers down because we didn't have a choice. Now, you can go to grc.com/ShieldsUP, or you can just go to grc.com, and you'll see a link at the top part here in a little menu that'll lead to something ni.dll. It's not NI, so it's not a reference to Monty Python. Anyway, of the 519 combinations after the asterisk here that archive.org says it has, only one of them is currently usable and has been since 2012, and it ends in BH0 BKYD2. And if you want to, you can use that link directly, and it might open it up correctly. The others will say browser reload suppressed, or this is outdated, or 404, I don't know what you're talking about. But that's 14 years of it being pretty dang stable instead of just having a link that just goes to the DLL and does the only thing it really needs to do. Also, the menu, the first option for the menu, even if the menu isn't working, you click the menu for services, it'll just take you right to this page where you're asked to proceed. Also, it's larger than this. There's 2 copies of information. You can hit proceed at the bottom of each. It's meant to be scrolled up and down one page at a time. And again, when you get there, it offers file sharing, common ports, which is really quick, all service ports, which took a little over a minute, like a minute and 10 seconds, and browser headers, which is so fast you don't realize it's been done. And when you do this one, you don't realize because you blink and you miss it. It says, please stand by, and then it just spits up the answers, telling you whether or not you have anything weird going on. But you have to read it because it's presuming that you're still running Windows 95, 98, but this will work on Windows 11. And again, this port scan is not a bad idea to run. Yes, there's many, many more ports than that, but these are the first ones, by definition, that are important. And it even explains why in there. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. I hope you take the test and pass. Stay green.